All right, so of course now we have my guest joining me on the broadcast. I have Ravinder Singh Robin, who's a journalist. Ravinder, we're of course tracking PM Modi in Kurukshetra and how important it is when it comes to the religion of Sikhism. I'd like your opening comments.
दिल्ली की कोतवाली के सामने मुगल सैनिकों का पहरा था और बीचों बीच
Am I audible to you, Ravinder?
धर्म के
I'm audible.
सत्य के सेनानी
Are you getting
Ravinder,
my
I'd
voice?
request you to please unmute yourself.
साथ थे उनके
Alright.
तीन सेवक भाई मतीदास
Are you getting my voice?
Yes, now I can hear you, Ravinder. We're just tracking PM Modi in Kurukshetra, and that, of course, holds a significant importance in the religion of Sikhism. So, I'd like your opening comments.
First of all, I would like to convey this. It is important to understand the Prime Minister of India. He's representing the entire nation. He has the responsibility to take care of every citizen, regardless of their caste, creed, religion, and background. It is hardly matter if it is in Kurukshetra or in Delhi or in somewhere else. He's paying obeisance in the gurdwaras or anywhere. That is more important. So far, I know the Kurukshetra is a place which is very spiritual and known for its cultural heritage and respected by millions. That is a part which is attached with the Kurukshetra. And the history of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib is really also, having a important place of Kurukshetra in that. Because when he was taken from Anandpur Sahib, he was going to Delhi and was arrested near Ambala, and where before that he was stayed in Kurukshetra, and he also preached in Kurukshetra and against the superstitions basically, and he emphasized over there on the purity of inner self. So the relation of Guru Sahib with Kurukshetra is there, but so far Prime Minister Modi is at Kurukshetra. That is I think he can in Sikh religion. Every Gurdwara, every place is equally important.
All right, I want to go across to senior journalist Venkat Narayan, also joining me on the broadcast. Venkat we're of course talking about PM Modi at Kurukshetra and how important the place really is when it comes to the religion of Sikhism. Now, of course, interestingly, as we were talking earlier, the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, visited Kurukshetra several times and gave enormous importance to the place during particularly solar eclipses on Vaisakhi. So, I'd like your comments on that.
Well, Vaishali, it's very significant that the Prime Minister of India, soon after hoisting the flag on top of the Ayodhya temple in Ayodhya, is visiting. He's in Kurukshetra right now, and is paying his respects to Guru Tegh Bahadur, the 9th Sikh Guru of the Sikh community, which is relatively small, 2.5 crores to 3 crores of Sikhs in India and California and everywhere else. Even though it's a small community, it's a very powerful community, and Guru Tegh Bahadur, all people of India, particularly Hindus, must appreciate the fact that when Hindus from Kashmir were being harassed by Aurangzeb's people to convert from Hinduism to Islam, they went and appealed to Guru Tegh Bahadur and sought his help to protect them. And he took cudgels on behalf of not just the Sikh community but the Hindu community, and he defied and stood up to Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb had him beheaded on the 14th of November in 1675. So 350th death anniversary of Guru Tegh Bahadur is being observed today, and it's a marvelous gesture on the part of the Prime Minister of India that he should take time off to go to Kurukshetra to pay respects to the memory of Guru Tegh Bahadur and release a coin and launch a stamp and so on, is also going to take part in the Gita Mahotsav. You remember 5,000 years ago, the great Mahabharata war was fought at this very site in Kurukshetra, and I think some functions involving that are he's attending. I think there is a Gita Mahotsav going on. Gita, is a great Sanskrit book, consisting of Lord Krishna's advice to Arjuna, whether he should fight his own family members, what comes first, the duty or what is right, so on and so forth. The Gita has now become a great book being read by people all over the world. It was first translated into English in 1785 by Sir Charles Wilkins. It is now available in 100 languages. So it is a tribute to India's contribution to the global philosophy and so on. Sorry.
I'd request all my guests to stay on with me. I want to share some details with my viewers and I'll come back to you. Now, Kurukshetra holds significant importance in Sikhism as a site of historical and spiritual events involving multiple gurus, notably its connection to the gurus' visits and their critiques of ritualistic practices. It is a pilgrimage destination where gurudwaras commemorate events like Guru Nanak's challenging of ritualism during a solar eclipse and Guru Gobind Singh's activities during another eclipse fair. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru, visited Kurukshetra several times and gave enormous importance to the place during solar eclipses. On Baisakhi 1703, during a solar eclipse, thousands of Sikhs gathered at Kurukshetra. Guru Gobind Singh Ji sent out hukum namas across India asking Sikhs to assemble at Kurukshetra during eclipses. Several Sikh gurus visited Kurukshetra and surrounding areas, leading to the establishment of numerous gurudwaras. These include Gurudwara Pehli Patshahi, which is near Brahma Sarovar and where Guru Tegh Bahadur stayed, and Gurudwara Chevin Patshahi. So now, of course, I have my guests back with me. Now, I also have Surendra Singh Lali, International Affairs expert, joining me. Mr. Lali, we're of course talking about PM Modi in Kurukshetra and the importance that it has when it comes to the religion of Sikhism. And he's of course there, he's paying his tribute. What would you like to say?
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Vaishali. Allow me to take this from the top. We're 87% of the Sikhs actually live in India. We're only 1.72% of the Indian population, and we're 8% approximately in the Indian army. This is the values that our gurus stood for. Sikhs for the longest time have been always on the forefront, and I always say that it wasn't really India that was divided, it was actually Punjab that was divided. 65% went to them and 35% of the Punjab came to us. And then, of course, it was, Bangladesh. So, Guru Tegh Bahadur was actually living up to the values to the point where he's also known Hind Ki Chadar, the shield of India, because he sacrificed his own life only to protect the Kashmiri Pandits. I mean, he was, the martyr for human rights. He stood for people who couldn't stand for themselves. And the beauty was that it was his child who said that if somebody else to make a sacrifice, Daddy, why not it be you? I mean, then, he influenced a lot of spiritual leadership also. He taught, fearlessness, detachment, compassion, meditation on divine name, and inner peace. So I feel that the story of India is incomplete if The sacrifices of the Sikh gurus are not mentioned. I mean, there was a Hindi exam somewhere in the hinterland of India, and a girl was asked that what is the contribution of Sikhs, and she said that had it not been for the Sikhs, I would be answering this question in Urdu, with due respect to all the other religions. So Guru Tegh Bahadur actually strengthened not only standing up for the right values for all the Gurus, but he also prepared the path of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. Because it is when, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, after that, is, stood up for the same values and shaped and created the Khalsa Panth. So I think the Prime Minister is actually doing the right thing. And our Prime Minister probably understands Sikhism very well, because in 1975, during the emergency, he wore a turban. So once you wear a turban, you understand that it is not who you choose to wear the turban. It's the turban that chooses you. So I think it's a great effort by the Honorable Prime Minister, who's always otherwise also been on record, the Kartarpur Sahib corridor, Justice for 1984, Chote Shahzade's, supreme sacrifice being declared as Veer Bal Diwas. And mind it, Vishali, we're less than 2% of the Indian population, and yet we have people who followed the values of Sikh religion. Is our current Air Chief is a Sikh gentleman. We've had Prime Ministers, we've had RBI governors, and you name it. So I think the Prime Minister has done the right thing. He has been doing the right thing by acknowledging what the world needs to know. And one of them is community service, which the Sikhs are known for. Secular values, which every politician across the world talks. I mean, you can go to Golden Temple or any Sikh temple. They don't ask you your religion. They don't ask you your caste. They don't ask you your creed. And then women empowerment. I mean, women are allowed in Punjabis and Sikhs, and I think your name is Kohli, so you probably understand that too. That women empowerment is what Nanak also spoke for. He said, "Sokyo manda akhde jit jamme rajan." How can you be disrespectful to a lady? Because even the mightiest of kings is born from the womb of a woman. So I take pride in being an Indian Sikh, and I think that Prime Minister's visit to Kurukshetra is nothing else but an acknowledgement to the secular values, to what the Sikhs actually stand for, Vishali.
Very interesting, Mr. Lali. I was just going to tell you that I'm also a Punjabi, I'm a Kohli, and but interestingly, I didn't know about Guru Gobind Singh Ji going during solar eclipses, particularly to Kurukshetra. So what is the reason behind that?
Reason behind what, Vishali?
Mr. Lali, we're talking about, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, which I've just read today itself, that, he was particularly visiting Kurukshetra during solar eclipses, and solar eclipses have a huge importance. How is that related? If you could explain that to me and the viewers.
Guru Gobind Singh Ji was one of the most amazing individuals. Despite creating the Khalsa Panth, he was a great poet, and he also spoke about the art of using the sword. So Guru Gobind Singh actually, he defined that there are no boundaries. There are no boundaries for sacrifice. There are no boundaries. He stood for both in terms of poetry and in terms of defending the faith. So he created the two, which is the Miri Piri, that you have to stand up. While we can be compassionate, we can sacrifice, but then we have to stand for our rights too. And he's a great poet. If you read his poetry, it was amazing. In fact, even for that matter, the Zafarnama. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji was one of those very unique individuals who's created a religion which is successful all across the world, because people value the values that Guru Gobind Singh Sahib gave us. And that's why, there are times on Father's Day, I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional, that we say that we're sons of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, because he created the Khalsa Panth. He gave us an identity when the oppressors, who were much more in might, were out to kill us. He said we cannot hide. He gave us an identity called a turban, that you have to wear the turban. You cannot run and hide. Stand up and fight for it, and we've been fighting for it. And that's probably the reason that you see Punjabis, and when I say Punjabis, of course I include all the Hindus also in it, and for that matter, anybody who lives up to sacrifice, who believes in secular credentials, who believes in community service, is a follower of Sikh Panth. You don't really have to wear a turban, to be. You could be a devout Sikh. But if you follow the values, and I believe there is a Sikh in everybody who wants to stand up for people who are not able to defend themselves and want to be on the right side, Shali.
Very well said, Mr. Lali, because Sikhism, of course, does stand for that. It stands for valor, it stands for courage. And it is a religion, of course, that also is very open to other communities and religions. There's no differentiation, like you rightly said. When a person goes into the Gurdwara, they're not asked their religion. So that, of course, is a very nice point that you've made there. And I'd like to go across to Ravinder Singh Robin, who's a journalist who's also joining me. Ravinder, particularly PM Modi now, offering obeisance to Guru Gobind Singh Ji. How do you see that, in the larger scheme of things, his particularly being present there in Kurukshetra?
Vishali, please allow me to give a bit account on, you have asked question to Mr. Lali on why Guru Gobind Singh Ji has called Sikhs on solar eclipse at the Kurukshetra. Would you like me to give a...
Sure, please go ahead.
Right. So to my knowledge, the superstition was on high peak on those days, and false beliefs were there. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji particularly called people over at Kurukshetra, especially those who are believing that the demon attacked during eclipse. So he wanted to give answer to that, and he actually countering that and challenging those superstitions. So that was probably one of the reason he and other gurus, those who preach there for purity of inner self. And in Sikhism, the superstition, there's no place for superstitions or karamat. Even when Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib was in Delhi, and the officials of Mughal Darbar, when they given him a chance by saying that either he accept Islam or kartab dikhao or karamat dikhao or show some miracles, he rejected both, because Sikhism believes in Sahaj and such, nothing else. So I'm not a such more religious person. I can't preach like that. But as a layman, this is what I heard from my elders. So those were the reason that the gurus were in Kurukshetras and they preached there. Even Guru Gobind Singh Ji called 6 Kurukshetra for this reason. So for the prime ministers in Kurukshetras and other places, in the beginning I told you, the Prime Minister of India represents the entire nation. He's not only paying obeisance to Sikh communities, to Gurdwaras, he's going and paying obeisance at many places. That shows the unity of India, that shows the integration of India, that shows the respect to other religions. And specifically our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he wherever he was in recent years, I tracked him on his social media accounts and so many other things, ways where he was even in Northeast or in Bengal or anywhere. He used to pay the obeisance and give respect to other religion. It is in the culture of India. So that's, I don't want to go read between the lines why he's chosen Kurukshetra. I think probably one of the simple reason, there are, I think, more than 70 events are simultaneously going in India right now, in Delhi, Lal Killa, in Anandpur Sahib, in Seesganj Sahib, in Ludhiana, Patiala, Amritsar. He could have got so many invitations from other places too. And at the moment, the most of the Sikhs, those who are the people, those who are actually following Sikhism or want to pay obeisance to Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib, they are either visiting Anandpur Sahib today or the Seesganj Sahib, where the major functions are going on. Probably this could have been one of the reasons that if Prime Minister goes there, there's a lot of security arrangements are to be made for the Prime Minister, which could give, you know, a bit hindrance to the arm log, and Prime Minister doesn't want to, you know, give any problem to the people. So that is why it could have been chosen Haryana nearby Kurukshetra, where, you know, those arrangements can be made. I think this could be the simplest reason. I don't find any, you know, I don't want to read between the lines, but that, I mean, he has gone specifically for Kurukshetra. More important, he's paying obeisance. He's respecting Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib. That is more important, I think so.
All right. Now, Mr. Surinder Singh Lali, anything you would like to add to what Mr. Ravinder Singh Robbins said?
Well, I fully agree with him, and if I was to, you know, compel myself harder, I could say that one of the messages that I could construe between Kurukshetra's Prime Minister's visit to Kurukshetra is because it crosses paths with both Hindu history and Sikh history. So maybe the Prime Minister is also trying to, you know, rubbish the narrative that often gets created from foreign source by the deep state, especially in America and Canada, who've been asking for a separate state. So the Prime Minister is giving a clear message that we are all united. We are one. You know, we are, Sikhs are, I would say, the sword arm of India, with the pride of India. I mean, I travel and I live, you know, travel across the world, and I think the most easy way to, you know, identify an Indian is a Sikh. I mean, we are quasi-diplomats, because wherever we go, it's people don't come and ask us less about Sikhism. They say, "Oh, you're from India." So I think we are the pride of India with the diplomats. We're one of the most successful communities, and yet we believe in taking everybody with us, because in Sikhism they say Sarbat da Pala. We don't go to the Sikh temple, or when we pray, we don't ask for just us. We ask for everybody around us to prosper, and this is what eventually the entire world wants. I mean, it's the difference between the haves and the have-nots, which creates a racial divide and other sorts of, you know, fissures in the society. So I think the Prime Minister is also maybe somewhere giving the message that, you know, we are one, and do not try and spin a false narrative, which, you know, our unfortunate neighbor Pakistan also keeps doing and has been doing since independence. And, you know, unfortunately, there was another Sikh lady who went just, you know, 3 weeks ago to Pakistan with the Sikhi Jatha. And
Mr. Lali, I'll just have to interrupt you because we have about 4 minutes left on this show, and I'd like to bring in Mr. Venkat Narayan for his concluding thoughts. Mr. Narayan, PM Modi is at Kurukshetra, and how does that mark its significance, and how does this make this occasion even more important? I'd like your concluding thoughts.
Vaishali, I think it is very significant because Modi is widely seen as a, you know, hardcore Hindu nationalist and all that. His visit to Kurukshetra and paying obeisance to Guru Tegh Bahadur, you know, makes it very clear that that is a wrong impression of the Indian Prime Minister, and that, you know, he treats people of other religions also with equal respect and so on. And also, of course, it coincides with the ongoing Gita Mahotsav that is going on in Kurukshetra. And, you know, Hidopadesha, the Gita was born there, if I may say so. After visiting Ayodhya, he goes to Kurukshetra. This is a very significant development, and the fact that he has gone to Kurukshetra and paid obeisance to Guru Tegh Bahadur, released a coin and launched a stamp, and also the fact that the Kurukshetra Mahabharata war happened 5,000 years ago at this very site, and it has got great historic significance. And the fact that the Prime Minister has gone there to pay obeisance to the 9th Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, who is, treated as the wall of India, and the Mahabharata, also the war happening there and so on. So it is good for tourism in that region, and tourism promotion is one of the main policies of the present government of India. So all in all, I think Mr. Modi's visit to Kurukshetra, paying obeisance to Guru Tegh Bahadur and attending the Gita Mahotsav and all that, it sends a message, a clear message across the world that the Prime Minister of India is not a Hindu bigot, but a secular leader. And too bad that some people paint him as anti-Muslim and anti-every religion except Hinduism and so on. And that will, today's visit to Kurukshetra clearly indicates that nothing of the kind is true about Mr. Modi. And so all secular Indians warmly welcome this and appreciate the fact
Mr.
that
Narayanan, we are running short of time.